Do you think that you're safe from the FTC? Well, I'm about to bust the top 6 myths about FTC compliance for online entrepreneurs. So listen up because some of these really surprised me. Okay, so number one is that it's only big coaches and influencers that the FTC is fining um, and going after, and it's not true. So basically, there are laws about advertising and marketing and sales that are in place. And it doesn't matter how much money you're making or not making. It doesn't matter how big your following is. It just matters whether or not you are obeying these laws. So if you're thinking that it's you're a newer coach, or you're not making billions of dollars or whatever, so you don't have to learn about compliance and you don't have to uh, cooperate and make sure that your marketing and sales is compliant, that is actually very, very false. Okay. So, myth number two is that it's only US businesses that have to worry about the FTC. And this is false. So the FTC protects consumers in the U.S. It's kind of the way to look at it. They are there to protect consumers in the U.S. So whether you are a U.S. based business that is marketing and selling to people in the U.S., or you are an international business that's marketing and selling to people in the U.S., the FTC laws apply to you. So if you have your business set up in Mexico, like right now I'm in Mexico, but if I'm running my business here and I'm marketing and selling to people in the US, they can still find me. They can still come after me and sue me and find me. Okay, so one of the other big ones is that people think, so like myth number three, well, I have a lawyer and my lawyer says that everything's fine. I don't have to worry about anything. So this one is like kind of false or can be false. It depends on what your lawyer's specialty is. Okay. So Anik Singhal, I think I'm saying his name right. He just put out a book called Don't Say That. It's all about his long 18-month journey of being sued by the FTC and ultimately having to pay $2.5 million in fines. But he said the whole thing cost him $15 million total, and actually more than that because he was poised to sell his company and that fell through because of the investigation. He had lawyers. He had lawyers that he asked about this stuff, and they were like, "No, everything's fine as long as anybody's complaining. As long as no one is complaining, you're fine." And we're going to talk about that in just a second. So he had lawyers, but because they weren't specialists in FTC and Federal Trade Commission and advertising and marketing laws, they didn't know. They there's different types of lawyers, and the law is so vast and so complex that you don't talk to a contract lawyer about divorce. Right? You don't talk to, if the lawyer is not a specialist in whatever it is that you need, you're not going to get the best legal advice. So if you have a lawyer that does a lot of things for your business, maybe helps you with your contracts and everything, that's fantastic. But if they are not well versed in FTC law and how these laws are applied, if they're not up on the current cases and how the FTC is interpreting things, then you could still get in trouble, right? So you want to make sure that you have legal representation and there's somebody who is very familiar with advertising, marketing, and sales laws in the US. Okay, so I mentioned the if you don't get complaints, you're safe. So that is myth number four. No, one, two, three. Yeah, that's four. Okay. I'm kind of doing them out of order than what I have on here, so I got confused. Okay. So myth number four is that as long as you're not getting complaints, you're safe. Again, it goes back to, it doesn't matter if you're not getting complaints. If you're breaking the law with the way that you're marketing and selling, you're breaking the law. It doesn't, like, there doesn't have to be, it's kind of like drunk driving. Like, you could be driving down the road and get pulled over, and even though you didn't destroy any property, you didn't hurt anyone, if you're over the limit, you get charged. You have broken the law. It's the same thing with this marketing and sales stuff. Even if nobody's complaining, you're not hurting anybody. Maybe you're the best coach, or whatever service provider, whatever it is that you do, and you're really good to people. It doesn't matter. If you are breaking the law, you're breaking the law, and they can find you. Now, that being said, if people are complaining, that is more likely to get you on their radar. Okay, but keep in mind, people might not be complaining to you. They might be going directly to the Better Business Bureau or to the FTC itself, right? So just because you think you're not getting complaints doesn't mean that you're not getting complaints, okay? So just, and all this like is not to scare you, it's just to educate you so that you can lower your risk of running afoul at the FTC. Okay, so kind of similar to number four, the myth about, if you're not getting complaints, you're fine, is this idea, well, I run an ethical business. I take care of my clients. I'm good to people. I don't lie to them in my sales and marketing. So I don't have to worry about the FTC. So this is myth number five, that if you're ethical, then you don't have to worry about the FTC. The thing is that ethical is subjective, right? So my whole business and my whole brand is built on being an ethical sales strategist. And I do a lot of things. I really go out of my way above and beyond to be my version of ethical, right? But when I started learning about FTC compliance, I just got certified from a course that was taught by a lawyer that is very familiar. He does FTC cases all the time. It's actually an annex lawyer. And I am not a lawyer. I'm not affiliated with the FTC in any way, but I have learned a lot about the stuff through this course. It was very thorough. And I found out that many of the things that I do, even though, for instance, I only use real testimonials from real clients that I've worked with. I don't overinflate the results. I use them in context, and I say, the reason this person was able to get this fantastic result is because they were already getting pretty good results before they worked with me. I don't try to make a new entrepreneur believe that they're going to make $1 million in 6 seconds, basically. So the way that I do my testimonials is very ethical, but it's not compliant because I don't have like signed affidavits from people. And I also don't have their bank screenshots and bank statements. I'm trying to say them at the same time. I don't have outside proof that this result happened. I'm going off of what my client told me, and I trust my client, but in order to be compliant, I have to have proof, right? So that's just an example of how you can be very ethical, but still be breaking the law, like unknowingly. Okay, so the fifth, yes, no, yes. I've gotten all lost in this, on all honesty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, sorry. If you're ethical, you're safe. What's number five? Okay, the sixth one, the final one, is that all this FTC stuff is just about digital marketing, that it's all about what you're saying in your marketing. That was one of the ones that I really thought too. I thought, well, it's just about what you say in your advertising. No, 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 no. For one thing, it's also about how you run your sales calls, what you say, compliance about how long you keep your sales calls. There's a lot of rules around selling. And again, even though my focus in my sales calls is around making sure people are the right fit and making sure I'm the right person to help them and all that stuff, so it's very ethical. There's no pushiness or misleading people. The way that I was doing my sales calls was not compliant, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is that it's not just about what you say on your sales call or what you say in your copy. If the FTC investigates you, they are going to want all of your Slack communication. They're going to want all of your DMs. They're going to want everything, right? So it could be something that you said in a DM or a text message or, in Telegram or on WhatsApp. It's not just what you say in your marketing copy. So you have to be compliant all the time. That was one of the biggest things that I learned. Yeah, so those are the top 6 myths kind of bungled through about FTC compliance for online entrepreneurs. What did you learn today? And what else do you want to learn? Because I want to do a lot of content around this. Again, I'm not trying to scare anybody. This is just about educating you so that you can make more informed decisions about how you run your business so that you can lower your risk of ever coming into contact with the FTC. I'm Heather Wild, Ethical Sales Strategy. I'll see you in the next video.